Amidst, I'm a part of a corporate club where Toastmasters meeting happens as part of our work schedule. And amidst the work schedule, it has been approximately 8 to 9 months since I attended my last Toastmasters meeting. And after a gap of 8 to 9 months, I get a chance to attend a meeting here with the members of Forum and the Toastmasters Club. And for years, I have been struggling and striving to experience the feel of sitting in a classroom. And once again, that happened here. And what I did not expect was a seat in the front row. And something even more that I did not expect was, despite getting a chance in the front row, the Toastmaster of the day asking us to read a 450-page book on the Indian Constitution. Friends, getting into today's session, feedback. Something that is very easy to give. But the right feedback, in the right way, in the right amount, being delivered to the intended person is something that is very difficult. And that is why today's session is titled as The Art of Giving Feedback. Now in Toastmasters, we do this exercise of giving feedback to speakers, to fellow members, in contests, in club meetings, very religiously, very frequently. Now when it comes to speech contests and in club meetings, while evaluating a speech, we do it in a way to motivate the speaker. But how do we motivate? Are we doing it in the right way? Is something that we may have to ponder a little more. Because an evaluation of a speech at a club meeting is completely different from an evaluation that we do in a speech contest. In a club meeting, the speech is the protagonist. The speech is the hero. In a contest, the evaluation is the hero. Not the speech, not the speaker. The evaluation is the hero. So when it comes to contest, the evaluator should have an evaluator's mindset. What is an evaluator's mindset? This is a question which I have been thinking on for a long time. Now take a prepared speech and think of a prepared speaker. Every speech goes through a life cycle of 3 steps before it is being delivered. It starts with an emotion. It starts with a very strong emotion that the speaker had experienced or someone closer to the speaker would have experienced, and it starts with that emotion. And that emotion moves on to the next zone, which is called thought. How do I convey this emotion to my audience? What are the examples that I can have? What are the stories that I can add to it? And that thought process comes in the second phase. Moving on to the third phase is the choice of words. What are the right words that I can pick? What are the right illustrations and analogies that I can pick? So that my emotion moves into the zone of thought process and I pick the right words and I deliver a speech. This is the life cycle of a speech. And these are the steps any speaker, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously would follow. Now an evaluator's mindset has the same 3 steps but in the reverse order. What is the speaker speaking? What are the choice of words that he or she is using? What are the examples my speaker is using? If my speaker had used these words, these examples, what is the thought process that the speaker would have gone through? If this is going to be the thought process, then what is the emotion that my speaker would have felt in your perspective? Is my speaker conveying or communicating the same emotion that he or she has felt? And this is the evaluator's mindset. So, in today's session, we will be dealing with 3 different sections, out of which the first one is the evaluator's mindset. Evaluation needs a mindset. And in Toastmasters, we have a contest where the speech delivered by a speaker gets evaluated. What is that contest called? Is it speech evaluation contest or evaluation speech contest? it's not speech evaluation contest, right? Very sure about it? It is an evaluation speech contest because as an evaluator you are delivering a speech to evaluate a speech. So your evaluation takes the center stage, steals the limelight and remains there as a protagonist, for which you may need to have an evaluator's mindset of analyzing the words, tracking it back to the thought process of the speaker, and rewinding it even back and trying to figure out the emotion that the speaker would have experienced or might have experienced. And this is what we call it as an evaluator's mindset. The first thing that is required. The second aspect is the actual evaluation. Now, in a speech contest, generally in Toastmasters, it is advised for every contestant to have their evaluation in a structured format of start with the positives, the commendations, the stronger areas displayed by the speaker. Move on to mentioning the opportunities for improvement. Where could the speakers potentially find scope for improvement, where they can still do a little more better. That is the areas of improvement. And final section is summary. What happened in section 1, what happened in part 2, and put everything together, and that is where the summary happens. Now let's go to the first section. The stronger areas, the strengths displayed by the speaker. Most of the times, I have seen evaluators telling the speaker as well as the audience, this is something that I found as your stronger area. Your body language was great. Your vocal variety was great. The story that you narrated was emotionally connecting with me. They tell what they liked about it. But every time you mention a commendation or a strength, that should answer two questions. The first question is what? The second question is the why. What was the strength? Why did you like it? I loved your body language to a greater extent, especially when you were talking about your friend. I was able to visualize your friend standing right next to you. That kind of personification or characterization on stage is something that I love the most. So you tell the audience as well as the speaker what you liked about the speech and why you liked about the speech. Now every time you focus on mentioning the strength of a speaker or something in the speech, evaluate if your content has answers to two questions, the what and the why. Unless your evaluation has answers to both these questions, the evaluation remains incomplete. So that is something that should be focused when it comes to the positives or the commendations that you mention about the speech. The next step, moving on to the opportunities for improvement or the areas of improvement. Once again, I love your body language, but the stage utilization could have been better. This is where the evaluation stops. Now, once again, the what is being focused. The answer to the second question, why, is missing here. So, though the body language was good, the stage utilization could have been better because you had a place to go in your story and a person to talk to in the same speech. Use this side of the stage to mention the place where you had to go to and choose the other side of the stage to refer to the person whom you had as a character in your story. In that way, I'll be able to visualize the place as well as the person in front. This is the answer to the why when it comes to the opportunities for improvement. But when it comes to the opportunities for improvement, there is one more question that we will have to focus on. Now I have a question for you, my dear friends. Assume you have a physical ailment. The doctor refers you to take a test. You go to a testing lab. You take the test. What will you do with the test report? What will you do with the test report? You just take it, keep it inside your pocket, go home, go to the doctor, give him the reference, and make the doctor give you a diagnosis and help you fix it. Obviously, we'll do the second one. We reach out to the doctor. Now, when you stop with the what or stop with the why, when it comes to the opportunities for improvement, we become the lab technician. We just tell them what it is. But we have to move from being that lab technician to becoming that doctor to treat that and help your speaker fix it. How do I do that? How can the speaker do that? Now you told the speaker that the stage utilization is very limited and restricted. If the speaker moves to this side of the stage, the place can be referred to, and this side of the stage, the person can be referred to. How can the speaker do that? Even if you are not so comfortable in moving across the floor, at least turn this side to refer to the place and turn this side to refer to the person, so that I will be able to find it so clearly in front of me. So when it comes to an opportunity for improvement, answers to 3 questions are very essential: the what, the why, and the how. This is what I, in my perspective, call it as clarity and energy. When you give answers to what and why in the strengths, or while mentioning the strengths, you give them clarity. When you give answers to what and why, while referring to the opportunities for improvement, you give them clarity. But when you help them improvise on it, eradicate the flaws or the gaps, and polish their delivery a little better, that is when you give energy to them. So energy is in principle derived from the answer to the third question, how, in an opportunity for improvement. Right, now I have got a better understanding of how should I present the strengths, how should I present the opportunities for improvement. Now I have got 2 to 3 minutes of time for evaluating a speech, be it in contest or in club meetings. How many strengths can I present and how many opportunities for improvement can I present? 3:2, okay. Anything else? Sorry? 3:3, okay. Great.
Minimum two.
2 strengths.
Yeah.
2 strengths, and how many opportunities for him?
2 minimum.
2. So you are trying to balance 3:2, 3:3, 2:2.
Minimum maximum.
Minimum, maximum
Based on the time.
based on the time.
Don't go more than 4.
Brilliant, brilliant, wonderful. Let's think of it this way. We take 3 strengths while talking about the strengths of the speech. How many questions for which you will be giving answer? 6 questions. What, why? What, why? What, why? Let's take 2 recommendations.
4.
How many answers will you give there?
6.
6. It becomes balanced. The perception of the audience as well as the speaker is, when it is balanced, the negativity gains more weightage. The positive aspect comes down. But when you give 4 positives and 2 recommendations, you have given a good perception about the speaker, to the speaker, about the speech, and you are motivating the speaker as well. Because when you take 4 positives, you are giving answers to 8 questions. When you take 2 recommendations, you are giving answers to 6 questions. So 8 stands a little higher and the person feels more motivated rather than limiting it with 3 strengths and 2 recommendations. So take 4 strengths and 2 recommendations. This has worked out so well for me because at the end of every evaluation, I was able to see a smile on the speaker's face. Now, while sitting as a contestant in an evaluation contest, we may not be very sure when I as an individual will get my lot to present my evaluation. Once I complete my evaluation, I measure the size of the smile in the target speaker's face. Then comes the other contestants. They deliver their evaluation. I measure the size of the smile in the target speaker's face. So that gives me more confidence. Basis the size of the smile of my target speaker, the result is going to be announced. And it has happened exactly the same way. When you give 4 strengths, you uplift the spirit positively of the speaker and give them limited opportunities for improvement, which they will be more than comfortable to consume. The reason for me to tell you this is, when I was a kid, when I fall sick, the first doctor in the house would give us tablets. Has it happened to every one of us? Yes. Most of us. What my mom used to do is, she used to give me a bigger pill to swallow. I, with great difficulty, would swallow that and spit it in the next couple of seconds because of its size. What she did then was a little different. She broke the same tablet into 4 different quadrants, and it was much easier for me to swallow. So when the size of the bitter aspect of evaluation, of feedback, which is the area of improvement or opportunity for improvement, is smaller, the consumer finds it easy to consume. And it is also very practical and logical for them to work on it and improvise it the next time. The more the feedback for improvement, the lesser would be the transformation in the next speech. And hence, 4:2 is the ratio that has worked significantly to a greater extent in my perspective. And it has worked out so well for me. And that is the second segment now. Moving on to the third segment. Now I have built the mindset of being an evaluator. I know how should I deliver an evaluation. Strengths, by giving answers to 2 questions. Recommendations, by giving answers to 3 questions. Adhering to the ratio of 4:2. How should I do it? What is the choice of words that I can use? How can I deliver my evaluation in such a way that the person finds it even better and easy to do it? A bigger pill that is white in color, even if it is broken into 4 quadrants, it looks alarming. It looks terrifying. Because for a matter of fact, it is going to be bitter in taste. But imagine the same pill in a colored way. It would exactly resemble a gem's candy that is being broken into 4 quadrants. And there is some fascination towards consuming it, even if it is not going to be a delight. An evaluation should be of that sort. I recently had a conversation with one of my friends who works for another organization in a leadership position. And he said this, Selva, there was a biased approach happening in my workplace, and I wanted to call it out. And when I told them this is a very biased approach, a few people who were sitting in the meeting came to me later and said, you should not have used the word bias. Though your context is great, though your intention is good, your understanding is better, you have a lot of clarity, you have a vision, the choice of words, that word that you used, bias, is not so great. It would have been better if you had avoided it. Then he asked me, how should I do it then? Because only when I tell them exactly what I feel a sense of communicating whatever I felt with utmost clarity. And he even said, if not this choice of word, I couldn't find a better choice of word. Now take this approach. What if India decides to give a little more space for Pakistan to occupy our nation? The intention is good, that Pakistan expand its geography, let them also grow as a bigger country like India. But what would be the impact? India will shrink, lack of peace, disturbance in various aspects. Now let's do the same aspect on the other side of the country. Let's be unbiased. Let's do the same with China. Let China occupy a portion of our country. let's give, say, 2,000 acres of our land to China, let them occupy. What will happen? China's business will expand, their population will continue to expand, and India's business will come down, India's area will come down. Our objective, intention might be perfect, it would be completely right, but the impact it generates is not so right. So at that point of time, when you have to give a feedback, when you have to share your perspectives or insights, honor and credit the intention of the other person who wants to do that. And then tell them that though the intention is good, the impact is not so amicable or friendly as we expect. So in that way, whenever you are going to give a feedback, whenever you are going to give an evaluation, highlight the strength first, then bring in the opportunity for improvement or the recommendation, and that matters the most. Now take the same into the context of evaluating a speech. I have heard most of the evaluators many times stating that the speech was so good that you delivered, but I could not feel an emotional connection, a heart-to-heart communication. How would the speaker feel when they receive this kind of a feedback? They feel dejected. Okay.
Not secure.
Not secure. Okay. Confidence will go down. Okay. So nobody has got anything positive about this sentence, right? Perfect. Right. Now, how do we rephrase it and make it in a way that the evaluator, the speaker feels more encouraged when the evaluator delivers it in a different approach?
Your speech was so good, if you added this personal emotional content, it would be great. Something like sugarcoating the words.
Okay, brilliant. Any other approach?
Any speech has good area of any speech has room for improvement. Similarly, I would like to do recommendations to you.
Okay, great.
Your speech would be fabulous if you work on this particular area of
Lovely, amazing. Is there a better, any other better ways to do that?
to take your speech on the next level.
To take the speech to the next level. Okay.
Try to work on the area.
Okay. Brilliant. Now I'll tell you, these were the exact approaches with which I started changing the emotion or the tone of my evaluation. If you could add, it could have been better. When you use the word if, add, could have been better. It is once again the same way of telling them that something is inadequate. And to take the speech to the next level, cliched approach. So, lot of homework is needed in that scenario. Scenario based, by scenario, we have to figure out choice of words. So, when I prepared for my evaluation speech contest in 2024, if I find the speaker delivering the speech or a segment of the speech in a very mechanical aspect, how do I focus on that area? So my content that I prepared for that particular recommendation is, I found you as a speaker who showed so much of dedication in delivering this part of the speech. But what I would have loved is, alongside the dedication, if you show some devotion towards the speech, it would have been still better. So the speaker is dedicated and you are acknowledging it twice and you are using the word devotion once again, where no inadequacy is being pointed out. And this is how choice of words matter the most while delivering an evaluation.
So it triggers the, so it should trigger the, speaker. It should trigger.
It should motivate.
Yeah, that's what.
What happens when you see Action King Arjun's movie when you were a kid? You immediately, because most of the 90s kids, if you go and ask them to name one of the freedom fighters, they would immediately name Action King Arjun. That's the kind of an emotion it triggers. And that is the motivation that an evaluator should deliver it back to the speaker. right? So maximum try to avoid words that refer to inadequacy, unavailability. It is positive, build even more positive. I was so happy today when the first speaker said, I went to the parlor where they said your hair is dry, your skin is not proper, eyebrows are not level. Happy that they did not say that I have sugar, diabetes, BP and all those things. Now imagine you get an opportunity to sit in the same chair of a parlor, both men and women. Your skin looks so good. It has lot of moisture. It is very clear. Can I help you add a little more oxygen into it? How would you feel? That is real business development and generation. Rather than threatening people stating that this is not available, let me help you do that. And that is the same logic that has to be followed in evaluating a speech as well. Right? So, 3 things to focus on once again. Evaluator's mindset. It is not speech evaluation contest, it is evaluation speech contest. The speech is not going to be in the limelight, the evaluation is going to be in the limelight, and evaluation is the protagonist there. And a speaker's speech goes through 3 different milestones before it gets delivered. It starts with an emotion, followed by thought process, then the choice of words. And what we as an audience and an evaluator get to understand or listen to first is the words. And as an evaluator, we have to build the mindset of understanding the thought process and trying to figure out the emotion that the speaker had gone through while they're developing this speech. And this is what will help us build and scale the evaluator's mindset. Then get into the actual evaluation of focusing on the strengths, opportunities for improvement, and summarize everything as a whole. While focusing on the strengths, figure out answers for 2 questions, the what and why. And when it comes to opportunities for improvement, try to have answers for 3 questions, what, why and how. Because only when you answer, you become a doctor, otherwise you are only a lab technician. And summarize everything that you presented. While summarizing, ensure that you present 4 strengths and 2 opportunities for improvement. Only then the evaluation that you delivered will be closed or will come to an end at a positive note, where more strengths are being highlighted with limited opportunities for improvement, which is more practical for a speaker to transform oneself in the next speech. More important, what you say matters the most, only when you say it in the right way. So how you say it actually adds value to what you say. Now putting all these things together, a feedback, when it is hot, it will become a feed forward. When I say hot, it is honest, open and transformational. And that is the reason this session was titled as the art of giving a feedback. And it is an art.